Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Northern Perspective. Hopefully you can see us and you can hear us. I'm Ryan,
And I'm Tanya.
and this is the mobile version of Northern Perspective. It's a little bit more professional than our mobile versions,
Previously.
typically are. So hopefully everybody can hear us and see us fine. I'm sure chat will let us know very shortly if you cannot, but we're pretty sure that you can do both. Anyway, excellent. Yep and yep. Wonderful.
Excellent.
Folks, we are live from Wild Rose Country, in other words, Alberta, Canada, and we are just south of Calgary. We've had some interesting challenges throughout the week, mainly to do with weather, and that started in Hamilton, ironically, right before we left.
Yes, and our flight was delayed almost 3 hours, so we didn't arrive to the Airbnb where we're staying until I think it was 4 o'clock our time. So we were still on Lake Ontario time, but it was 2 o'clock here, but it was still very, very late. We were all exhausted, so we all just slept in on Friday.
Now, for anybody that was at the event today, no spoiling about the hat, because I'm going to get to that. So, and there's a reason, but you'll understand once you get there. So, anyway, it's it really is amazing to be back in Alberta.
I was telling everybody today, like we came for a convention, but we didn't really get a chance to do anything or see anything. I think the most touristy thing we had done at the time was had breakfast at the Calgary Tower. But this time we're actually able to do a little bit of sightseeing in between our work, and it's just been fantastic.
Yeah, and we have some good plans this week. We're actually going to Stampede tomorrow. We'll be able to spend, well, as long as we like there, as long as Vincent likes there.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's going to be great. Tuesday, we plan on going to Banff, and we've already had one of our viewers give us a heads up on some things there. Actually, a couple of viewers, so that's great. We know about Surprise Corner, so that will be interesting to see that. And we may make our way out to Drumheller at the recommendation of some folks as well. There's 1,000 different places that we've been told that we should go. We don't have 1,000 hours to do that, so we're gonna have to pick carefully. But fingers crossed. Again, we have another potentially very high-profile interview on Wednesday, so fingers crossed on that, and fingers crossed that another high-profile interview may materialize before the end of the week. But everybody's busy. It's Stampede week, so
It sure is.
we understand that. Anyway, we have a lot of stuff to get through. We are aiming to wrap the stream right at 11 o'clock. We do plan on doing question period. So with that, I see Randy's in chat. Is Barnaby going to be fashionably late as usual, I assume?
Maybe, I have not received word from Barnaby. So we'll do it this way. If Barnaby doesn't show up within the next half hour or so, I will collect the questions.
Okay, so
just hold on to them for now. But we'll collect them around, I guess it would be 9:30-ish local time here.
Heartsinger says, make a poll, I vote Drumheller. That we're going to try and get out there. Anyway, let's get to house rules just quickly.
So the house rules are the same 3 as always. Number 1, please respect each other and the chat. That includes everybody on screen and everybody in the chat, as well as our moderators. We have Randy from Northern Perspective this evening. He's the lone moderator right now, so please be patient with him. He does an amazing job, and we want to keep him sticking around. Don't scare him off.
Right, so.
Then our next rule is please do not spam the chat. Do not solicit or try to sell anything in the chat. And number 3 is please don't use profanity.
Now, we did talk about the possibility of maybe live streaming outside. You'll notice that we are not necessarily doing that. And that's just because where we're staying, there's no camera footage allowed on the property. So, so it is what it is. You respect the B&B where you're at, you respect the hotel where you're at, you respect where you stay. So there we go. So before we get into the the festivities, which we are going to be covering the Conservative Barbecue. We're going to be covering the NP Nation event today, which was
It was
fantastic.
phenomenal. It was so great to meet everybody.
We'll get to the administrative stuff. So let's get into that. Rabbi Saides, whom we met finally today. Great to meet you today. For $5. It was good meeting you and everyone at the get-together today. Great conversation with shared opinions, and I wasn't even called a racist one. Just a sarcastic in person, by the way, and I love it. So
it was wonderful to meet you.
Heartsinger for $5. So sad I missed everyone at Stampede, but so excited to go to the barbecue in Edmonton tomorrow. Hope to see someone there. Will wear my NPT. Look out for Kelly McCauley and give him a big hug. So
I was gonna give him a ribbing for us.
Yeah, that too. That too. This is from Annie Young. Thank you very much for $10. I didn't plug in my laptop yet. For love the photo of your family. I love those cowboy hats. Hope Vincent is having a wonderful time at the Stampede. Tickets went super fast for your event tomorrow. You mean today? I missed out. Enjoy Calgary. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And this is a $50 super chat. Thank you very, very much. And this is from Janice H. Missed the Calgary event, though I had a ticket. Forgot I had to make my sourdough bread and had to rush home in the country. Oh, that's unfortunate. So sorry. I'll catch you and Tanya another time. Thanks for everything. Hope you had fun. Well,
Thank you.
It was such a success. We're gonna have to come back and do it again.
Oh, I think so.
So obviously we're gonna have to come back. So no worries. And Jessica Van Luke for $7. Seen it was pouring quite a bit in Calgary a few hours ago. Glad you guys stayed dry at your event. Well, okay. So we were on our way back from the event, and it went from light drizzle to light rain to heavy rain to the ocean pouring down on us to hail coming down on us to a car passing us, and it looked like a tidal wave hit the windshield for a good solid 3 seconds. Like I couldn't see anything but tidal wave. And then we finally made it back to where we were staying. So it was definitely adventure today, but nothing I hadn't really driven in before, but it was still fascinating.
But like all in one day. We keep hearing everybody like who's local say, "Oh, if you don't like the weather in Calgary, just wait 5 minutes," and they weren't kidding.
Yeah, they weren't kidding at all. So that was phenomenal. But we had people driving all the way from BC to see us like 3 hours away. So that was just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you.
Heartsinger, member for 29 months. You both look great, and it's great to be here. Well, someone looks great. So
I do what I can.
I'm just here. Jessica Van Luke for $2.79. How long are you in Calgary for? We're here until the 12th. We fly out on Sunday evening. Next Sunday. And Weber's SS for $20. Jolie and her department seem to have confused trust with compliance. The legal means they're considering is an admission that they're badly lost control of the narrative. So there you go.
Yeah, I think so. And we kind of went over, we did a short video, was it yesterday? That like when you sue somebody for defamation, there's several different defenses, but the main three are, well, that it's the truth. So the government tries to sue us. All we have to do is point at, StatsCan and whatnot and be like, well, you guys wrote it. It's true. And then what were the other two defenses? It's truth, fair comment. So like you could call somebody ugly, for example, and that's not defamation because it's an opinion. And then the last one was for public figures, because these people, like for example, Melanie Jolie, are elected by the public and they are public figures, the politicians. They are expected to face a higher level of scrutiny than a regular citizen would.
No, I'm not going to run out of battery and the stream's not going to die.
That would be bad.
Let's see, Peter Whitten for $5. Great to see you. Don't bother responding to my silly chats. Let's stick to the content, LOL. Love that you were out there. Bravo. Holding down the fort here in Chatty. Awesome. And Jim JH for $5. It was awesome meeting you both. It was funny how you passed me on Stony Trial and then meeting in the parking lot. Keep up the awesome job. Yeah,
Thank you.
It was great meeting you too, Jim. And Jessica Van Luke for 279. So no live stream next week. Well, we're probably not going to live stream from the plane, so that's
Yeah,
probably a good bet.
don't think it's allowed. Yeah.
And I hadn't thought that far ahead. So
No, we might be able to shift it to the Monday night though.
So anyway, folks, let's before we go anywhere, Center 88 for 20 $20. Thank you. Thank you, NP and NP Nation, for this amazing show and community. It absolutely is, and that was demonstrated today. I'll get to that. I'll get to that. But first, we're going to start at the Conservative barbecue. So, without further ado, let's take a look. So this is this was taken at the Conservative barbecue, and there was a lot of people that were inside the tent at the Conservative barbecue, and you can see that's to the left of us. This is to the right of us. There was a lot of people there, and it was just a great group of Conservatives there. Right here in this shot. You can see the gentleman that's looking at the camera with the black hat. Gentleman sitting just to the right of him, that's J.R. Cox, and him and his lovely wife Tara. They are phenomenal people, and they
sponsored the event today.
They sponsored the event today, so we'll be talking about them a bit later. And everybody knows this guy. This was Pierre. He was speaking at the event. We're going to be showing you a couple of highlights from his speech later. He absolutely brought the house down as usual. This is home base for him. So, and of course, he had a lineup to see him again. It's funny because the perspective of this, I think the person holding the camera was actually holding up a little higher, because I look kind of like a little midget and a little boy compared to Pierre. So it's a very funny angle. So that was great. We took a full group photo with Pierre, with Tanya's parents, as well as Vincent. Vincent's getting too tall for me to crop him out of photos now, which is kind of funny.
He had a huge growth spurt.
But this is an amazing picture we took with Pierre out back of the tent, and we got to chat with him for a little bit, and you'll see that a little later as well. So this is Shuvaloy Majumdar. He is a MP for Calgary Heritage. Caught up with him at the event as well. He lied to me at the event, and I'll get to that a bit later as well to explain why he did and why it's kind of okay. This is MP Carol Anstey. So she came up to us and got a picture. She said that her husband watches us, and she all the MPs have said that they just appreciate everything that we do, and we just say we appreciate everything you guys do. You have to sit across from a whole bunch of people spouting insanity.
Yeah.
So, and they have to remain parliamentary. So, not in the way that we remain parliamentary. This is David Epp. So he's also an MP, and you may have seen him on committees as well. So again, phenomenal Conservative. This was interesting. So we were coming out the back of the tent, and this nice gentleman came up to us and said, "Hi, Ryan, Tony, it's great to meet you. I'm a big fan." And I'm like,
"You look familiar."
I think I know you. Have I met you before? And he's like, "Yeah, my name's Patrick. My name's Patrick Polyev." I'm like, "No kidding. And I lost it, right? Because it's Pierre's brother." So, and it was funny because he keeps coming up as a recommended friend on Tanya's Facebook.
So we like knew that we've seen his face before, but we couldn't place it.
Right.
So wonderful gentleman, absolutely wonderful.
So it was so funny seeing that, and it was so funny just to be able to chat with him, and he was so supportive of Pierre, and he's like, "Yeah, he's my brother, and I'm all in for him." And it's great because that's what family's supposed to do, right? You're supposed to stick together. So that was absolutely amazing. So, what are we getting to now? Well, I'm going to show you two snapshots of Pierre's speech. Many of you may have seen this, but you may not have caught one of the first one of the first comments that he actually made, one of the first jokes that he made. I didn't catch it until the
No.
second time watching it.
No,
Right?
yeah, we didn't catch it there. We didn't catch it the first time we were like replaying it, choosing clips.
Right. So hopefully I didn't mess anything up here. But this is near the beginning of Pierre's speech, and this is when he was talking about some fictitious things that happened, probably, but also congratulating one of the Conservatives.
The future Premier of British Columbia, Carolyn Finlay. Way to go. Fresh off a big win against Liberal lobbyists from out east. We've got our former leader.
Sorry.
So I didn't catch that the first time I heard, because everything's happening so fast and you have all these hundreds of people around you. I didn't catch when he said, Carolyn Finlay, fresh off her victory against Liberal lobbyists out west. And
Out east.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, that was a subtle dig at Corey tonight.
It sure was.
Wow. That was an amazing dig at Corey tonight right there. So, I think this is Pierre kind of firing a shot across the bow, basically saying,
I know what you're up to.
Corey, get on Team Conservative. If you're going to be a Conservative, get on Team Conservative. Because if you're not on Team Conservative, you're probably on Team Liberal. And that's basically what it comes down to. So I thought that was a really, really interesting but clever, subtle dig at Corey tonight. So that's the warning shot. And do I think Corey's going to listen?
No.
No.
But I also find it interesting that there's kind of a narrative that started brewing online where people are saying, well, Pierre Poilievre expects all Conservatives to agree with him 100% of the time and blah, blah, blah. That's not true. But if you have a issue with something the party is doing or something your MP is doing or something the leader is doing, whatever, don't air your dirty laundry in public. That's what the Liberals do extremely well. They all make it seem like they're one solid team and they all support the leader, and you never or almost never hear anybody speak out against the leader because they address it behind the scenes.
Well, you have the Liberal MPs not happy about Mark Carney, being a very difficult boss to work with, and they're all running to the media, but you don't have these commentators coming out and saying this stuff.
Yeah.
So you want to get on Team Conservative, then get on Team Conservative. Don't pretend you're a Conservative and then go on TV and all you do is trash the Conservative Party of Canada. Pick your lane, or it will be picked for you, let me tell you. So there's that. Anyway, let's go and listen to the rest of the fun.
Ronna Ambrose and Candice Bergen are both here. Give them a round of applause. And of course, we have too many Conservative MPs to name them all, but they are Canada's affordability team. 3 priorities: affordability, 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 bringing your costs down. Give it up for all our Conservative MPs. Merci beaucoup. But I have to say, it is great to be home here in Alberta, where when you say you're going green, it means you just bought a John Deere tractor. In fact, they tell us that the Liberals have actually decided to show up this year at the Calgary Stampede. There was one Liberal MP who landed at the airport, rented his Mercedes, and decided to drive out to the countryside, pulled into a farm, and went up to a rancher and said, if I can guess the size of your herd, will you give me one of your calves? I said, well, why don't we do that? And so the MP pulled out his phone, looked at some satellite information, did some calculations, and said, farmer, you have 1,432 cows. And the farmer said, well, a deal's a deal. You got it right. You can take one of my calves. So the politician picked up one of the animals, put it in his Mercedes, and just as he was about to pull away, the farmer stopped him and said, if I can guess your political affiliation, will you give me back my animal? And the politician said, sure. He said, okay, you're a Liberal. I said, geez, how did you know? And he said, well, you showed up uninvited. You expected to be paid to give me information I already had. You don't know a thing about farming because that's actually a herd of sheep. Now give me back my dog.
So that was one of Pierre's new jokes, and it was a
It
good
was
one.
brilliant. You know, even my dad was laughing, and he's usually pretty stoic. So, you know, it was a good joke.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you catalyze a cat. So that's catalyzing calves in Liberal speak. But I want to get to the more serious part of what he said, because this really resonates with us, and it really aligns with, you know, what we talk about on Northern Perspective every day.
And as we do, let us reflect upon the wonderful inheritance that we have. They say if you stand in the prairie field and listen to the wind whistle, you can hear the voices of our ancestors, and you can use your imagination as to what they're saying. What I hear when I listen to those voices is that making Canada was hard, so we should never give up. Let us remember the Albertans who sacrificed for our inheritance, the people who through hardship and heroism never gave up, the brilliant engineers and roughnecks who extracted the miracle molecules out of the muddy bitumen to power our lives. They never gave up, so we never give up. The traders who followed the winding rivers down uncharted paths to find the lonely forts that would become our future cities, they never gave up, so we never give up. The pioneers whose callous hands plucked the weeds and moved the rocks to turn raw dirt into fields of golden grains never gave up, so we should never give up. The prairie mothers who fought starvation so their babies would survive the Dust Bowl and the Depression, they never gave up, so we never give up. The Cree code talkers from here in Alberta who used their unique language to deceive the Nazi interceptions to save countless Canadian lives, they never gave up, so we should never give up. The veterans who died on foreign soil for this country, they never gave up, so we should never give up. The country for which they died is the country for which we must live, my friends. Let us be proud of our great Western traditions. Let's celebrate our people, our province, and our country. God bless Canada. Merci beaucoup. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is very, very close to what we talk about on Northern Perspective every day. And it's interesting to hear it summed up like that, because, you know, we tell people life's hard right now. Life is much harder for some, less hard for others. The Canada that we knew and loved growing up, we don't seem to recognize it anymore, but it's still there. It's still there, because what makes Canada so great isn't the borders, it isn't the places, it's the people. And every event that we go to and people of NP Nation are there, we see Canada loud and clear right in front of us. We saw Canada wrap its arms around us when I lost my job with the government just for doing this. And that Canadian spirit is still out there, and it's worth fighting for. And some people will say, Canada's lost, you know, give up on Canada. Well, I haven't seen those same people actually start to fight for Canada in the first place. And using a Francois Philippe Champagne reference, I will take no lessons from people who want to give up on Canada. So that's what we do at Northern Perspective. We fight for this country every day. We were chatting with Michelle Ferreri, and I mentioned this actually during the event. This isn't going to be a fight that we're going to win in a day. It's not going to be a fight that we're going to win in a week. It's going to be a marathon, and it's going to be like some of those fights that were actually in the wars, especially World War II and World War I. In many cases, they were fighting building to building, street to street, inch by inch, in order to actually get that victory. And that's what we're doing right now. We're in a political fight for this country, and we're never going to give up. And the Liberals expect us to roll over, but that's not going to happen. There's going to be a long, arduous fight, and sooner or later, we're going to get this across the finish line, and we're going to take this country back. So I really, really appreciate those words of hope and encouragement from Pierre for all Canadians, because sooner or later, we're going to get this country back to where it belongs as the greatest country on the planet. So now, moving on from that, we were able to actually grab a couple of minutes from Pierre after the event was done. It's actually where we ran into his brother, ironically. So without further ado, it's a brief hit, but you know, we don't always ask policy questions.
I think, so many of you will recognize this from the conference, and Pierre gave an excellent speech back in January. And there was one detail that I think you and I were very happy about for the Polyev family, and that was that their daughter Valentina had said her first word. And being parents of an autistic child ourselves, we were, you know, we've been there where the anxiety is, where you're like, is my child ever going to talk? And then they finally say something. And, you know, we just wanted to ask how he felt, because we've been in that exact same spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the Conservative Annual Barbecue Fundraiser, and we are here with the fantastic and ever patient Pierre Polyev, everybody.
Great to be here. Most beautiful place and the greatest outdoor show on earth.
Pierre, there was hundreds of people that were in line to see you, and as always, you always made the time for them. And what is that like, just talking to people for hours and hours and hours and hearing their stories?
It's privilege. I have a lot of fun doing it. I get to hear what's going on in their lives, what they care about, what they want to see for the country. And we have a good laugh, we have a good time, and it's one of my favorite parts of the job.
One of the things I wanted to talk to you about just quickly
I noticed that my hair is out of place here. You have to have your hair tucked in under the hat, or else
Yes.
you're not look like a real cowboy.
Absolutely.
All right.
So one thing that I wanted to ask you, and Tony wanted to ask you, in your speech at the convention, you mentioned hearing Valentina's first words and her speaking her first words. What does that mean to you as a parent with a child with autism?
Well, it means a lot. So Valentina has had a hard time getting language, and it's further complicated by the fact that, you know, we speak French. My wife and I speak a lot of French to the kids. And she speaks Spanish to the kids. And then she's hearing a lot of English. So I think it's compounded the difficulty for our little girl. But she does understand language. And she does say a few words. She says papa, she says bye-bye. She can say hola in Spanish. And so, you know, she's getting there slowly. And she has her own languages too, like that we wouldn't consider to be in the dictionary, but there are things that she can communicate through this making of sounds, through pointing at things, through taking us by the hands, and that is a different kind of language. So for that all of that is very special, and she's making very good progress, and we're very confident that she'll have a really exciting and happy life going forward.
And our approach to this is, you know, Vincent is the same. He makes very slow progress, but he's still making his way towards the end zone, and it may take him longer to get there. As long as he makes it there, we don't care how long it takes.
Valentina's first ever words were "go, go, go." So the very first word she ever said. And we wonder, because we don't, like I said, we speak French and Spanish in the house. So you wonder how she was able to get those English words that happen to coincide so much with her character. But she likes to move. She likes to be in motion all the time. She doesn't like to sit still. And that's one of the many things that make her a special little girl.
Well, all Canadians are pulling for you. Thank you so much for all that you do.
You.
And good luck this summer, and good luck in the fall.
Many blessings. Don't give up. Keep the hope and keep the fight alive, everybody.
So that was a absolute privilege to chat with Pierre, and it's always interesting to get to know somebody and what they're going through, especially with a special needs kid. And I think the question kind of took him off guard because he was probably
expecting a policy question. But, you know, honestly, it's something that when we heard it at the convention, we were like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And we wanted to know more because, again, we've been there with Vincent. He was almost 3 when he said something beyond up or on. So, you know, with autistic kids, many of them can have a difficult time obtaining language. They understand it. Like Vincent understands absolutely everything we say to him. It's just the output that he has difficulty with. And so we were just so excited for Valentina and the Polyev family when we heard that great news.
Absolutely. Now let's get to what happened earlier today, and at our event. So here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was one of the shots at the event. This event took place at the James Joyce pub, and it was packed, and I mean packed. Like there was people everywhere, from everywhere. It was just an amazing event for us to be at, and it's really something when all these people come out to these events and join us for this. Now, one of the biggest surprises that we had was this. So Tara and JR and our assistant, who will be in trouble later, they organized this. And
they conspired, you mean?
They conspired this for this cake. But, you know, I shouldn't be too upset because I look nice and thin in this, which is great. And
it was delicious.
And it was a locally made cake. It was fantastic. Let me see. What was the name of the bakery? See if I have it handy here. Stand by. I think Marianne may have sent that to me. I don't know if she sent it over.
It must have been text because I don't recall seeing it. While you're looking for that, Randy is going to collect questions this evening. So if you have questions you'd like to ask for the Q&A portion of the show, just tag at Randy from Northern Perspective, and he'll copy and paste them for us.
Just taking a quick look here. Dang it.
We don't have it. We always like to shout out local businesses whenever we can. Unfortunately, we don't know the name of this business, but perhaps we can find out and tell everybody later.
Yeah, that's weird because someone had sent it and I'm not seeing where it was sent to. Anyway, we really appreciate that. Now here's another picture of the cake, and there was 2 hats next to it, and we thought these were decoration, so it didn't really matter. And but we just thought it was neat. And then here's JR
stabbing the Ryan on the cake.
stabbing me right in the chest, which is fantastic. Just saying. But then we actually kicked off the event. So that's JR speaking and introducing us, and that is Shivaloy Majumdar, who was there. Now, the reason why I was saying that Shivaloy, or Shuv as we call him, lied to me is because the night before was the barbecue, and I was told by Tara and JR that Shuv was going to be at the event. So I found him at the barbecue, and I went up to him and I said, so you coming to the event tomorrow? And he's like,
what event?
What event? And I said, our meetup tomorrow. And he's like, I'm not ringing a bell. And I said, well, if you can, that's great. I understand plans change. He's like, yeah, text it to me. Sorry, like I'm sorry. Sorry about this. And I said, no problem. But he ended up showing up. So I said, oh, okay, well, that's great. And then what happened, I was not prepared for. Those two hats were not decoration. And what ended up happening is we were white-hatted. And this is a big deal in Calgary and in Alberta. And
I think it's exclusive to Calgary, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, sorry, yeah, it is. It's exclusive to Calgary, and it's a tradition that goes back decades, like decades. And you, it's an honor to be white-hatted, and it
Calgary is like, you can't compare it to anything else. It's amazing. So thank you all.
and it was so special to, being able to experience that, but also having JR and Tara there, who have become very, very good friends over the last year since they kidnapped me last
Stampede.
barbecue. and we said last year, we said, we'll do an event. And for all of you that recall the first live stream that we said that we were at, we said we'll do an event next year, and we were able to make good on that promise. And it was amazing to be able to experience that with everybody in NP Nation that was there. So thank you, everybody, from the bottom of our hearts for being there for that, and all, everybody on the stream, everybody in NP Nation around the country. It really does mean a lot to us. But that's not the end of our fun. So going back, so this was right after, and we got to have a great picture with Shiv and everybody. And then we got to take some pictures with the special guests. We said there was going to be special guests, and there definitely was. So John Brassard flew in all the way from Barrie, not to see us, but he came for the Stampede.
A bunch of people are saying no sound. It's about 10 seconds behind, so I don't know. Did these die? No.
No.
Oh, somebody else is saying sound with a bunch of waves. So maybe it was just a latency issue.
Oh, could have just been one person. So if you,
no, there was quite a few saying that there's no sound, but hopefully that means it's back.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, it could be internet latency issues, and
yes,
yeah.
it is possible. It is possible.
It is possible.
So we end up having good.
Yep.
So John Brassard came all the way out from Barrie to see the Stampede, and was gracious enough to come to the event. So that was awesome. We gave him a shout out for his unparliamentary language, which was great. And this is MP John Barlow. So he's the Shadow Minister for Agriculture, and we ended up actually staying in his riding. So that's him and his lovely wife. And here we have MP Jeff Kibble, who is now the Shadow Minister for Defense. And that's Helena Conans. She was on the Health Committee, and she's there with her husband. You may recall when we did a quick 4x interview of all the Health Committee members when we were on Parliament Hill. So amazing work by those folks. And the phenomenal Stephanie Kuzi, she came out as well. So that was amazing to have her come out.
And it's extra special that Stephanie was able to attend, because Stephanie Kuzi was the first person who was willing to give us an interview. And it was while we were still using the avatars. And we had said, we can tell you our names, like, just don't tell anybody else. She's like, no, you know what? That's fine. You guys are doing a good job. And that's part of like your show. That's totally cool. And not only did we interview Stephanie, but we interviewed everybody on the OGO committee. And that was our very first interview. So we thanked her for that today, because she really did play a very important role in NP Nation history.
She opened the door.
Yes.
Honestly, she opened the door. We were expecting it, if we got it, was just going to be her. But then she said, hey, can I bring 3 more MPs on? We're like, can you? Come on.
Of course.
And we ended up interviewing at the same time. It was Stephanie Kuzi, Kelly Block, Garnet Jennison, and Larry Brock. And I remember Garnet actually bringing his daughter in there, and who kept kicking the table, which was actually quite funny.
Because like Vincent does the exact same stuff.
So and she was she was tearing up, because you know, she has a lot of respect for what we do, which is amazing to hear that and to have, you know, a member of parliament say that to you.
Well, and we have a lot of respect for what she does. You
Yeah.
know, she's a very wonderful lady, but don't be defrauding the taxpayer because she'll come after you.
Well, all of you know she means business. She is a very strong MP, a very proud Albertan, as is all of your members of parliament. Very, very strong team coming from Western Canada. And they make up a really strong core of the Conservative caucus. So I know you all are, but I'm just saying you should be very proud of your members of parliament out here. So anyhow, we are moving along. So this is Member of Parliament Pat Kelly. So it was great that Pat came out with the folks as well. Another great MP. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, Michelle Ferreri. It was amazing that A, she was at Stampede, but B, she stopped by, and she ended up doing a video, which as I was putting this together for tonight, hadn't seen it yet, but we were absolutely thrilled that she came by. And this was actually this is kind of
Video
interviewception, because this is when Michelle was actually doing her video, and we were talking to somebody else when she started it. So then we kind of photobombed it, and then she just rolled with it and incorporated us into the into it, and turned into like a very short kind of interview. But it was a message of hope, and it was really focusing on that this is going to be a marathon. It's not going to be a sprint. So thanks to Michelle for all the fabulous work that she's been doing. And we really, really appreciate that, as does a lot of people I know. And we even met up with Ava Chipiak. So she's a lawyer. She's on X a lot of the time. She does a lot of work to try and expose corruption and what is going on with this government, and brings her legal expertise to bear where she can. The person on the right is one of the ladies that came with her, and her name is Tanya, and they're doing a pancake breakfast on Sunday, which we will see if we can get there, but we do have a packed schedule. So, but it was amazing to see her in person, and you know, shake hands and give a hug, because that's what we do when we're Conservatives. And then, ladies and gentlemen, this is the you may recognize this individual. This is Michael Harris. So we actually met him in the flesh. This is the individual who is not a Conservative. To be sure, he's not a Conservative. He's actually a member of the Libertarian Party of Canada. But I absolutely love that he came, because it demonstrates that you don't have to agree on everything politically to be able to A, have respect for each other, and B, be able to have a conversation. And, you know, relating to that, we actually were able to do a very short interview with him. And it's actually in that vein. So without further ado, here's Michael Harris at the event. Hopefully the background sound doesn't come through too much.
And look who showed up, Michael Harris from the Libertarian Party of Canada, and obviously my lovely wife Tanya. This is just an example of, you don't have to agree on everything politically to be able to be respectful and to be able to have good conversations. So Michael, thanks for coming out.
Thank you for the hard work that you guys have done. We appreciate it. And on behalf of the people of Battle River Crowfoot, we thank you for saving democracy.
Well, it's literally part of our job description, as Tanya would attest to, and we just want to keep the conversation going and show Canadians that the most important thing that we do is talk to people from other perspectives of different parties, and we don't have to agree on everything, but what we can agree on is respect should triumph all. And thank you very much for your work. You're going to be a hell of a politician one day, and we encourage you to keep staying involved.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
So that was great. And hopefully you could hear what Michael said, but if in case that you didn't, he was just saying, you know, thanks for everything that you do. Thanks for saving democracy on behalf of the people of Battle River Crowfoot. And what he's speaking about is Bill C-25 and the amazing work with collectively that NP Nation did. It wasn't just us, folks. It's all of you. This is a team effort where we were able to actually change the election laws and put an end to the longest ballot.
We hope.
And they are still not
They're
happy.
mad with
They're still going on about this. So it's not my fault. You complained about your Charter 3 rights being impacted, and then chose to impact tens of thousands of Canadians' Charter 3 rights across the country. So don't get mad at me. You're the ones who decided to do what you do and didn't grab a sign and protest in front of Parliament Hill, or write your MP, or petition, or do all the other things that we did to change the laws. So if you start wondering why the law is not being changed, maybe you should actually do what we did, because it actually worked. But a lot of respect for Michael Harris, despite the fact that he's not a member of the Conservative Party, he's a member of another political party. But
he's just such a nice young man.
Yeah,
and got a really good head on his shoulders, and he cares about the people of Battle River Crowfoot, and that's what you want in a politician.
And this is why I said, despite he's for another party, I said, you're going to be a held politician. Keep going, because we need people with integrity and people with strong Canadian values in politics to make this country better, regardless of the party, right? So, if the Liberals had a few that were obvious that they actually had core Canadian values, and they were sticking to them, and well, then they'd probably be Conservative, but that they would stand up to the crap that's going on in the Liberal Party. I would have a lot more respect for some of those MPs.
Well, and I think that the Liberal caucus must be like a very toxic workplace where maybe you get people with those qualities coming in, but after a very short period of time, they kind of see how things are run and they just forget about it, or they leave.
Yeah. So anyway, the next video, and the last video that we're actually going to show, is one of the most important ones I think I've recorded in a while. And it's important because this is something that I'm probably going to be using and reusing. And she gave us permission to post it. Her name is Nicole. Well, I'll just let her speak for herself.
You've heard us talk about this sometimes. We want to make sure that you know that it's true. There are people that have been watching Northern Perspective where they started as Liberal and ended Conservative, and one of those people is here with us today. This is Nicole. Nicole, what changed for you?
When you guys came on to YouTube, I just happened to hear one of your programs, and I was like, I'm not hearing this information anywhere. I started listening more. I started, absorbing conservative values, and because of that, I've moved from a community that was very woke to Calgary so that I can get involved in conservative politics. So this year, I was at the convention volunteering, and I just had to thank these guys because it's 100% because of you. So thank you so much for what you guys do, because you're changing our lives and our communities.
So ladies and gentlemen, this goes back to what we say, never demonize people for how they voted, because every Liberal voter is a potential Conservative voter, and Nicole's proof. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here.
So those are really powerful moments for Tanya and I, because it goes to show the power of information. And it goes to show the power of accurate information, because it can change somebody's mind like that. And we've had people that have emailed us and said, I used to vote Liberal, my family used to vote Liberal, and then we started watching your channel. But we've never actually had somebody come up and talk to us about it. So, for all of you that have ended up, modifying or completely changing your political affiliation as a result of watching us, I just want to say thank you for giving us an opportunity, and thank you for sticking with it, and just giving yourself an opportunity to hear a different perspective on things, and then learning that maybe everything that you were told doesn't actually line up with reality and what the facts actually are. So, way to go, Nicole. That's a huge 180, going from, I'm voting Liberal and living in what she says, a woke community, to literally volunteering at the Conservative convention. So it's an amazing, I would say, success story for our channel. And this is why we always say, don't demonize people for how they voted in the past. Because if you do, then you will guarantee that they will never vote for your party in the future. So thank you, Nicole, and thank you to all the other folks that end up watching this channel and maybe shifting your political way. And You know what? If you watch this channel and you don't shift your political view,
That's okay too.
that's okay too. We just hope you keep an open mind. And you know, there may be a lot of folks that watch and they don't comment and they don't participate in the live stream, and that's okay. There's a lot of people that watch the live streams, that watch the videos, but don't actually comment. And we know that because the views don't match their comment numbers. But we really appreciate that. And like I got to say, it was a phenomenal event. Now we have to do a shout out, and we were standing in line waiting to chat with Pierre, and this person that worked at the grounds of where the event was held, where the Conservative barbecue event was held, has this walkie-talkie out and is walking up to us and is saying, "Excuse me," and I was thinking, "Oh crap, we're going to get kicked out. What the heck did we do?" and she comes up and she says, I watch you guys and I'm like, oh, thank goodness. I thought we were going to get kicked out. And she was like, oh my goodness, no. But she has a 19-month-old son named
Kendall. No, sorry, that was Mom. Mom was Kendall and baby was Kendrick.
And she says that Kendrick loves watching us, but then goes on to say that every time the theme song comes on, he like runs over and loves listening to it. So it probably loves the theme song more than us. But she said, no, he listens. So just a shout out to Kendall and Kendrick, and probably one of the youngest NP Nation viewers that actively listens and watches the show that we've heard about. So just a shout out to them and the other staff that were actually working at the event, because we found out they're basically all conservatives as well. So thank you very much. We won't name the organization just in case they'll get in trouble over that, but it takes a team effort to put on an event, and it takes an even bigger effort to save a country, and that's what we're trying to do. So thank you everybody for coming out to that event. One of the core byproducts of that event was to raise money and collect food for the Veterans Food Bank
For our event this morning.
Yes. In Calgary. And I am thrilled to say that NP Nation, you came through. So we ended up collecting over 150 pounds of food for the Veterans Food Bank, and in totality, you know, we've raised around $500 in addition to that. So thank you everybody who was able to contribute to that. It's going to make a huge difference to the veterans that are coming to this food bank, and they either need to supplement their food sources, or they need to actually get some to put in empty cupboards. So it will mean an absolute world to these folks that are going there. So thank you. Cannot thank you enough. And I think this is the third food bank that we've
Fourth, because technically there was two in Sherrill.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
True. So so it's always a great cause to raise food for the food banks, because unfortunately they need it more than ever right now. So thank you. Thank you to everybody who actually came up and said hi. We had some great conversations, and there was a lot of chatter going on. So NP Nation was, you know, if they came not knowing anybody, you instantly had over 150 to 200 friends in that bar. So thank you everybody for coming out and making a massive success. And thank you to all of the Calgarians and Albertans that have just welcomed us with open arms. It truly means a lot. So, okay, folks, I ended up
Not crying?
well, but also fairly close to being on time. I can actually get some super chats in, and then we can go to question periods. So, okay, folks. We have Kay Martin for 279. Glad you didn't even show up for her ridings parade. Wow.
Ouch. But I thought the community was so supportive
Right?
of her switching teams.
I thought you spoke to all of your constituents.
Right. Was that a lie, perhaps?
I was going to do an unparliamentary cough, but I probably shouldn't. So, Lloyd's FM for $5. Welcome to Calgary. Hope you have fun tonight. I'm enjoying your stream while I make fresh apple jelly from my urban orchard.
Ooh,
Excellent.
that sounds really good.
Yeah. Heartsinger for $2. Now I need the political cowboy shirt. Yes, you do.
They're in the shop.
They're in the shop.
And they do take about 2 weeks to manufacture, just because it's their busy season right now, like in the summer, and then right before Christmas, they usually take a bit longer.
Our
And-
website is showing a certificate error. It is safe. So we just have to update the security certificate on it. But
But I think if you go to store.northernperspective.ca, will that not get around it?
I think so. Yes. Yep.
Excellent. There
So
you
if
go.
you go to store. Well, I'll put it in the,
In the chat.
yeah. So
And I've been speaking with our graphic artist. We are designing a longest ballot t-shirt. I just don't have anything to show you guys yet, but as soon as I do, I will.
it's not going to be a t-shirt that goes down to your ankles or anything like that, but that has a life-size copy. So,
That would be ridiculous.
but we're looking to make an appropriate design. So
I had a really good idea, but I was told it's too inappropriate.
unparliamentary.
Unparliamentary, yeah. Not safe for children.
And Johannes Johnson, there you go. AKA Gothic Blonde, member for 25 months. Upcoming work, Leviticus. Enjoy when it drops. There you go. New song. And Luke Calgary for $10. It was awesome meeting you both, Vincent, and your parents at the event today. I hope you have a great time here in Calgary and the Stampede. Thank you so much.
You.
And if you see us around, come and say hi. Even if you said hi to us at the event, you know, we're happy to say hi to everybody.
I think YouTube skipped this one from D. Martin. It says, I wanted to say hello. Don't often get to watch the live stream. Have a fun and safe trip. Thank you so much.
Dean, I remember him today, so thank you very much. And Just a Guy says, member for 17 months, looks like a domino after, or a domino effect towards election. I guess we'll
Possibly.
see. Mr. Carney is not doing well with this condo bailout, and he seems intent to not really back out of it, which is not going to go well for him.
Well, and I wonder why he's not backing out of it.
That's a great question
That
that
sure
Canadians
is.
are interested in answering. And well, there's going to be some questions asked about this. Don't worry about that. And we have Mayday, IT member for 30 months. Awesome meeting you in Calgary today. Thank you, and thank you for coming out.
Thank you. It was wonderful to meet you.
And Jankor for $2. PP for PM. MCGA. Yeah, make Canada great again. And Jessica Van Luke for $7. Looking forward to the 2 high-profile interviews. Hopefully it happens. Yep, fingers crossed. Love when you interview high-profile people because we can guess who they are. Maybe, maybe not. I guess we'll see. It's always fun, though. And Schwankster for $14. Watched the Trump speech to his nation. Realized no Liberal could give a similar speech to Canada, but Pierre could and does regularly. Pierre Poilievre for PM, yeah. And Ravis A's for $5. We haven't quite gotten to the point that pickles are worth more than Kanakistan rubles yet. We have to do everything possible to prevent that. Amen to that. And Peter Witten for $5. For Pete's sake, vote. The more involvement, regardless of what side you may be on, the better. Let's make politics boring again and bring it home.
I know. I like politics. It's fun. I don't know if I want it to go back to being boring.
And we have Dudu, members for 34 months. Love the hats. Hope you enjoyed the Stampede. We
Thank
absolutely
you.
did.
We haven't actually gone to the Stampede yet. We are going, I think, tomorrow, as long as the weather holds up.
Yep.
But yeah, we've, what did we do so far? Well, we went to the Conservative barbecue, then we had the event today, and yeah, I guess we haven't really done too much sightseeing. We were going to go up the tower again today, but it was just pouring rain. And our friend told us, don't bother to go up now because you won't be able to see anything. It's too cloudy.
And Dudu, member for 34 months. Love the hats. Hope you enjoy the Stampede. And I think I just read that, so that's fine. Oh, $10, that's why. The Canada of old may be gone, but as long as the people have the heart and spirit and courage to rebuild a new, better Canada will rise because we, the people, are Canada.
Very well said. Thank you.
Well said. Absolutely.
Did you want to switch to questions?
Oral questions, oral questions.
Oral questions.
Let's be careful about some of the words we use. People are watching at home. Their kids are watching.
All right, folks, it is NP question period time. You can ask Randy your questions and he will copy and paste them up to us. We're going to ask as many as we can, as fast as we can, and we're going to try not to drone on forever in our answers. So first question is from Heart Singer. It says, How cornered is Kearney after Danielle's pipeline announcement?
It depends on what his goal here is. So if his goal is to not have a pipeline, he's going to be in a little bit of a jam here because Danielle and the group that they're talking about have obviously picked the route very carefully and strategically. The challenge is they don't have somebody else to come in and fund it and build it. So this is where they have an issue here. But my guess is Danielle's strategy here is to say, listen, all the work's done. We have a route. We have
Permitting and whatnot.
well, we basically have the skeleton of this ready to go. Now we need you to make it safe for an investor to actually come in and invest in this in order to actually do this. And you also have Pierre saying, let's go. Okay, the pipeline. But the issue is they have to get rid of the tanker ban. They have to get rid of C-69. And because if they don't do that, I don't think that these developers are going to come in. And what I worry is he's going to say, hey, listen, we have this, Canada Strong Sovereign Wealth Fund, and we'll be able to de-risk a pipeline.
The way you de-risk a pipeline is get rid of all that bad legislation.
Well, there you go. So, is he cornered? I don't know if he's cornered, but he's definitely in a complicated position.
James Halliday asks, what's the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? LOL.
What do you mean? An African or European swallow?
As a king, you have to know these things.
I didn't know so much about swallows. Yes.
Gothic Blonde asks, how busy is the barbecue circuit expected to be this summer?
Very.
Yeah.
Very.
Some of the MPs we know, they tell us they do like 600 events in a year. And that's huge. I mean, if you think of how much time they're in Ottawa and they're not doing events while they're in Ottawa, like that's insane. That's like 5 events some days.
Well, just to give you a sense, so one of the MPs that we were talking to today, he has 16 events tomorrow. So 16 events in one day. That's pretty busy. So yes, it's going to be insanity this year.
And they do need volunteers for some events. So if you are part of your EDA or if you would like to join your EDA, you can do so and you can help at some of the events. Milo Nexus asks, random question, do haters ever show up to these events to protest? Knock on wood, not yet.
So not at these ones. We have been to some of the rallies, like even before the election, that some people were protesting out front, but they were very small in number. So actually, it does happen.
There was one guy at the one we did in Sarnia, but they wouldn't let him on the grounds. He had to stay outside the gate.
That's true. That's true.
Darlene White asks, did Vincent enjoy the plane?
Yes.
He was the best natured out of all of us because we were just so tired from sitting in that terminal. And the Hamilton airport is small. It's got 3 gates and you can see them all 1, 2, 3.
And there's no restaurants in the Hamilton airport.
No, it's just like a kind of cafe place where they've got like pre-made sandwiches and stuff in a fridge and you can buy like pop or whatever. And then a tourist trap, I call it. It's just like, where they'll sell stuff that says like Hamilton across the chest and the washrooms, and that's it.
Yeah, so there wasn't much to do. He was a champ. He was a real champ.
He did a really good job. This is from Daisy Stiley. It says, Tanya, have you ever gotten a color analysis? You look great in the dark burgundy. I think you're a warm autumn. I haven't, but it's something that I've kind of considered, so we'll see what happens. Next question is from Jessica Van Luke. She says, I know that you said you might have an interview in the works in Calgary, and you would know after the CPC barbecue. Will you be interviewing that individual too now, I guess?
So
this particular interview has been like canceled and rescheduled
like 6 times.
Yeah, a bunch of times. Again, nothing wrong with that, just life's busy, right?
That's politics.
Yeah. So we don't ever say anything until we actually have footage in hand and that we've checked the footage. just to make sure it's okay.
Like an example. So we heard on Friday. Well, we came to Calgary with this
Interview in mind.
interview scheduled, and then on Friday, so after we woke up, we got an email that the interview was canceled, unfortunately, and we said, "Oh," so we were sad. And then an hour later, they said, "Oh, maybe the interview's on," and then we were not so sad. And then we said, "Oh, well, we might only be able to do it at this time." And we said, "Oh, that's really early. We're sad again, but we're not so sad."
We're not really morning people, but I think we're both kind of still on Ontario time, so it's okay.
So anyway, so right now it's on, but anything can happen.
Politics is very fast changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. So far it's happening.
So far it's happening. We're very excited.
But in total, if everything actually goes well, we may walk away with 4 interviews.
But we'll see.
We may walk away with none. We'll see.
Peter Witten asks, who has the key to the CBC to put it in reverse? The littlest hobo? I hope you get my twisted take. Plato's allegory of the cave. Let's rise from the shadows.
Yeah. There's so much wrong with how they operate the CBC. And I'll just leave it there, because I'll let the chat look that up, because it's some fascinating research to actually look that reference up.
Jessica Van Luke says, I watched Brian Lilly's live today and said Pierre should take a break from showing his face. That might help him gain some support. Thoughts?
Maybe.
I don't know. I think, like, if I was Pierre, I would probably focus on the riding this summer, because there is concerns about separation, and he's this brand new MP for that riding, where Damien was there for many years before, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
So, he gets criticized for parachuting into Battle River Crowfoot and then just flying back to Ottawa, right? That's kind of the narrative. And I think he really does care about the people. Like, you can see it in his face and you can hear it in his voice when he's talking about the country. And I think, well, if it was me, I would spend my time in the riding and just work with the people. Just build those reports, like those friendships and that camaraderie with the people, and show them that you are there to represent them and prove the Liberals wrong.
The issue with Pierre is, I don't think it really matters what he does.
Yeah, everybody's going to criticize
So
him.
if he stays in his riding, they're going to say he's the leader. He should be going around the country. He should be going to events. And then if he does that, why isn't he in his riding? He should be going to his riding. And so I think he's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Well, especially with our media, right?
Well, right. So there's always going to be a take on it. The problem is, you never know if it's the right take until after you've done it. And I remember when we put out our video right after the election, some people were criticizing us, saying, "Oh, you're criticizing him now. You're criticizing." Well,
you shouldn't kick him while you're down.
Well, we can evaluate the strategy now that the election result is over. So so yes, you can retroactively look back and say, okay, well, it's like in the Jays game. You put out a certain pitcher. If it works out, you're a genius. If it doesn't, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
So, but you can only evaluate it in some cases. Come on, putting an OnlyFans person, on your bus, Jagmeet. You don't need retrospective to actually know that that's a bad decision. But some decisions, you may not be able to know until after you've actually seen the results of those decisions. And in politics, sometimes that's weeks or months to be actually see, was this effective or not. So, but I don't think it's a unfair suggestion from Brian Lilly. So it'll be interesting to see what the Poilievre team does.
Ted Tester asks, do you agree Pierre should do media in other countries, not as promotion, but breaking Carney's myth with reality and solution that will bypass the local junk filter?
I think it helps him look prime ministerial, and I think it helps him look like a statesman. So I'm not against that.
Yeah, I'm not against it either, but what I would say is, like he did trigonometry, which I thought was phenomenal. I love that interview. And he did the one with, what was the other gentleman's name? Stephen
Bartlett.
Bartlett. And that was, again, phenomenal. But those are podcasts. And I think with podcasts, you have more of a wide ranging audience. And even though mainstream media in other countries will often put their stories online, I don't think it really disseminates to the Canadian public. So, I suppose the question is it a good use of his time?
I think, yeah, it depends on what media he does. I think he needs to get on media that forces CBC and those folks to talk about it. But also, it allows other media outlets to talk about it as well, because then you can actually show the contrast to say what the UK is saying, what the other Commonwealth countries are saying, what the US is saying, what their media is saying about Pierre versus what the Canadian media is saying about Pierre. And then you might be able to actually show that there is in fact a bias. Swing voters, see? Because it's not conservatives saying this, it's another country's mainstream media that is saying this, and that's completely different than what our media is saying. So, so there's definitely advantages to that.
But
And-
again, you get that damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Well, I was just going to say, because when he did that tour in the U.S. and when he went over to Europe, people were saying he's trying to be Mark Carney. He's trying to and he's wasting taxpayer money flying all over the world. Okay, but isn't Mark Carney doing that? And you don't have a problem with him. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I really don't.
Jessica Van Luke asks, what was your favorite thing you guys have eaten so far in Calgary?
Steak.
Yes, we went to a steakhouse the other night with my parents, and it was phenomenal.
And we didn't go to the Keg. Not that there's anything wrong with the Keg, but if you're going to, if you're going to come to Alberta and Calgary, you don't go to a chain steakhouse out here
Although
that
I
you can
think-
go back home.
I think the one that we did go to was a chain, but here in Alberta. But we wanted to go to like a, what do you call it? Like a sole proprietor type place. But we were looking it up online. We were all in like t-shirts and jeans, and we were like, "Oh, we're not dressed well enough
Some
to
of
go
these.
here."
For some of these. So, but yeah, definitely steak. But food's been phenomenal here.
Jessica Van Luke again asks, if Pierre were no longer leader, do you think Mark Mulroney or Rachel Dancho would make a great leader? Been hearing those names flying around lately.
I'd have to hear what their policies are, right? Because they're going to have to bring their own flair. They're going to have to bring their own style, and I'd have to hear them speak for an extended period of time. Sure, they speak in House of Commons, but it's in line with the current party's policy platform. It's in line with the current policy's messaging. I'd have to hear their messaging. I wouldn't want to prejudge people because we've been asked this question before, and my answer is changing now because I've had a lot more time to think about it. I'd have to see them in a proper leadership race. I think there's some strong folks out there. Raquel Dancho, sure. Let's see what she's got. She's very confident, speaks very well. Does she speak French? I'm not sure. And there's some other folks in there I'd be very interested to see what they bring to the table.
Janet Kret asks, I'm wondering if Ryan and Tanya have heard anything regarding the hopefully end of the condo bailout.
Well, you've already heard Carney kind of step back a little bit from it and try and distance the government a little bit from it. But here's the thing, folks. As weird as this sounds, it may not be a bad thing if he refuses to end it, because a lot of people outside of conservatives think this is a terrible idea as well. So if he keeps going with terrible ideas that not just conservatives think is a bad idea, but non-conservatives think is a bad idea,
Maybe people who voted Liberal think is a bad idea.
it will cause people to question things. And this is actually the type of thing that starts to erode support.
Yeah.
Right. So is it going to be frustrating as all heck because he wants to use taxpayer money to do it? 100%. 100%. But, and here's the but, the silver lining is that it may actually help us get to this final goal of Carney out. So
I'm probably going to butcher this username, but it says RW Luco asks, what reason would you give someone who leans Alberta independence to stay in Canada? I would just be honest that everybody here is so fantastic and just so lovely and welcoming. And like when we came to Calgary, I felt like home. You know what I mean? Everybody's just wonderful. And I don't want to see those people leave from Canada. What I want to see leave is the Liberal government. So let's work together and get that Liberal government out of here.
Yeah. In speaking with people, I'm not going to claim to completely understand the immense frustration of all Albertans with what's going on right now. I think that would be hubris of me to do that. What I'm understanding and what I've come to understand is there's some Albertans that have just said, I don't care what happens. I don't even care if a Conservative government gets in. I want to leave. That's their perspective. And you may not agree with it, but that's their perspective, and it is what it is. I'm not going to call them names. I'm not going to try and insult them or anything like that. There's other Albertans that are extremely frustrated. All of their hopes were on the last election. And when the election didn't go the Conservatives' way, they're now at a point where they're saying, like, I can't wait for anything else. I don't have any better option. This is the option that is in front of me now. I don't want to leave Canada, but I feel that we have to leave Canada. So that's another perspective that we understand out there.
And I think there are Canadians across the country that are feeling that desperation that I can't continue like this. Either I'm going to leave or I'm going to go bankrupt or something horrible is going to happen. So I think that we all need to work together and get rid of the Liberal government.
Right. But the number one thing I would say is be respectful. Don't call them traitors. Don't call them names like that. Listen to understand. And if you look at things like, places like the United States is made up of drastically different demographics in different states. Each state has their role to play in the collective whole of the country. So some states of the U.S., they're primarily focused on resource extraction. Other parts of the United States are focused on global trade. It's similar to Canada. Like every different province plays its role. Like one of the main economic hubs, like it or not, in Canada, and it contributes the vast amount of our GDP, is in Toronto, because that's where the banking sector, the economic sector, and that's what connects us to the world trade market is. You have Eastern Canada, and there's a whole lot of resources out there that we're not taking advantage of, much to the detriment of Eastern Canada Canadians. Our fisheries are out there. We have amazing programs on fishery farms out there that they're doing like world leading work out there in terms of trying to make industrial fishing actually sustainable, and they're doing amazing work out there. Out west, you have obviously Alberta with the oil and gas extraction, some other critical minerals. Northern Ontario, there's critical minerals that we're having a hard time getting, but I'll give it to at least Premier Ford. We're getting a highway built up to the Ring of Fire, so that's step one. And then you have in British Columbia, we're one of the world leaders in robotics, and a lot of those industries are in British Columbia. And then you have all the other provinces and territories in between that contribute their own weight to the country. So as part of that, we make a collective whole called Canada. Now, we need to make sure that we use this word that the Liberals have perverted. We need to make sure that governance and respect is equitable across all of the provinces. You don't get to just spend decades crapping on a particular province called Alberta and expect them to just not say anything about it. This reaction should not be surprising to the folks in Ottawa. But this is where we try to speak up a little bit for Alberta. This is where other folks in Ontario and in the eastern provinces, we need to speak up for each other, because that's the Canadian thing to do. We
Right.
need people, as far as Cape Breton and St. John's, Newfoundland, you guys need to be speaking up for Alberta to be, treated with the same respect as all the other provinces as well, because that's what a Canadian family does.
Well, because today it might not be your province, but maybe tomorrow it is. So it's kind of the same thing with the gun buyback. And we're not gun owners. We don't plan to be gun owners, but we can look at that and say that's obviously wrong. So we're going to stand up for it, because tomorrow we might be the ones that need the help.
And to the folks in Alberta that demonize every single person that lives in the East, you're actually doing what you're accusing everybody else of doing as well, and it's not going to help. You have friends in Eastern Canada. You have lots of friends in Eastern Canada.
And we're working pretty hard to get rid of the Liberals.
Right. So don't demonize all Easterners. Ottawa is the problem.
Yes.
The government is the
The
problem.
government, 100%.
And we're doing our part to try and make sure that we get them out. So just consider that. We can respectfully disagree. If we can't come to common ground, that's okay. That's okay. That's what being in a discussion is for. But just some food for thought.
Mimi Murray asks, do you have a sense of comfort while in the West where Conservatives live? I've lived across Canada, currently in PEI, and very tempted to move outside Calgary with family. I don't think we've ever traveled anywhere in this country that we felt out of place or that we haven't liked. I mean, we moved out, or we didn't move out, sorry. We went out to Prince Edward Island probably about 8 or 9 years ago. And everybody was so wonderful and so friendly. And we're going to be going to New Brunswick in about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yep.
And again, whenever we've been out there, everybody's just amazing. And I think that's just how Canadians are. And Canadians by nature, I think, are just very welcoming people.
Yeah. We haven't been in Alberta long enough to be real estate guides. So, but my suggestion, and take it or leave it, is to Tony's point. Try not to find a political bubble. Try to find great people, because sometimes a lot of people just put the politics aside and they just focus on being good neighbors. So,
Stinger 007 asks, I've heard rumblings of the Prime Minister canceling by-elections and appointing a candidate instead. Is there any truth to that? Yes, kind of. So he's not able to cancel the by-elections. The Prime Minister is able to choose the date of the by-elections.
that's it.
And it has to be within 6 months of the seat becoming vacant. And then the election itself, the by-election itself, is between 5 weeks and 7 weeks after that up to 6 month period. What he is doing, though, from what we've heard, is that he's choosing who's going to run for the Liberal Party in each riding. So for the Conservative Party, for example, what typically happens is they will have candidates who are interested submit their nomination forms to the EDA, and then they are approved or discarded by the what do you want to call it? Like the party executive. And then if they're given the green light, say, okay, yeah, you can run for nomination. You might have like 5 people who are trying to be the Conservative candidate, and they all have to compete against each other. And the way they do that typically is they go and sell memberships to people and then convince them, come and vote for me. And then on any particular day, they have the vote, and then whoever gets the most becomes the Conservative candidate, and that's whose name goes on the ballot. But with Carney, he's just picking people. Like, okay, you're the one on the ballot. You're the one on the ballot. There's no democracy. The people in the EDA don't have a say in it. He's just like reaching down and picking people.
I just want to jump in here because it's a good comment from James Halliday. So, Ryan, as an independent supporter, I would tell you that it's not the East people that we demonize; it's the Liberals that we demonize because they are evil and have done Alberta dirty from Confed. So, while I appreciate that, I would say that there's a fair amount like that will actually tell us you're not welcome here. You're not welcome in Alberta because you're from the east. So now we don't listen to that because
We're doing our part.
well, yeah, we're doing our part. So
Get rid of those liberals.
now, is that a minority of people that want to separate? Is that a majority? I don't know, but I'm just telling you what we've seen. There was a bunch of people that were mad that the Conservatives were even having a convention in Calgary, and we're telling them they shouldn't be allowed here. So that's kind of what we're hearing. But I appreciate you bringing up that, because it means that it's not everybody that actually supports independence that thinks that. So thanks for the comment, and I really appreciate that.
Again, I think on the internet especially, it seems more
It's a
prevalent than it
microcosm,
is,
yeah.
because like usually people who have a particular view are quite loud about that particular view, and they might drown out everybody else.
And maybe the people that are saying that is like 10 people of like 1,000.
Yeah.
So it's a fair comment.
Darren W asks, so I heard possibly 10% from Pembina to invest, but not yet in Stone. Which other companies have you heard of regarding the pipeline investments?
Haven't heard any. The only ones that we have heard are potentials are Enbridge, and they won't touch it until the legislation is actually removed. So but that's all we've had. So if there are others, we're not aware of them yet.
Rob K asks, have you ever considered doing events in other provinces? I'd love to meet you in Regina someday.
So short answer is yes, because we're going to New Brunswick.
After this, yeah.
And from there, we may be going to Nova Scotia, but we're still trying to work with the people on the ground to finalize something out there. So the short answer is yes. And I would love to come to Regina. So maybe in the future.
Diane Martin asks, what do you think about Larry Brock moving out of his role? So we've had some conversations kind of like behind the scenes, and what we've been told is that it really is Larry stepping back to take time off of this file, which is justice, to focus on his family. It's not like one of those excuses that a lot of MPs will give, like, oh, I just, I switched parties because of my family or whatever. No, it's not. It is a legit thing that he is stepping back from that role so that he can focus on his family. And hopefully there will be an opportunity for him in the future should he choose to take on that role again. He is not stepping down as a member of Parliament. He will still represent Brantford Brant or Brantford Brant South. I can't remember.
Brantford Brant, Six Nations.
Yes, thank you. I can't remember what they changed the riding name to, but yeah, he is still an MP. Ravi Sadis asks, okay, gotta know which one they went to. Can I suggest several excellent steakhouses?
Yes,
absolutely,
please.
You can. Yeah.
Yes, please. Because the goal, like our main goal, is to find a steakhouse that's. I don't want the tourist traps, right?
Yeah.
I want where like a born and raised Calgarian would be like, I want a good steak, so I'm going
to X. Yeah.
So that's what I want. And
that's it. That's all. Thank you, everybody.
And thank you for the respectful discussion, folks. This is exactly what we were talking about, ironically, with Michael Harris. So Leonard LS for $20. The court has previously struck down a false news law. Oh, yeah, okay. Misinformation is still legal in Canada, and according to ChatGPT, government can't bring it back even under another guise, criticizing government and giving opinion misinformation. Okay, so we're aware of this, and there's a lot of missing context. Now, this is where we're being completely objective.
Yep. So, and we know a lot about this, having just gone through a defamation case.
No, but this is the so there was a law passed a long time ago, and I'm sorry, I think there was a court ruling actually made, and that court ruling made this law that was actually repealed under Justin Trudeau irrelevant. So that law that was already there wasn't actually actionable under law. So the problem is that a couple of people have gotten a hold of that, and they've said, oh, look, they made it legal to actually put out disinformation and misinformation on news. Not really. That wasn't actually Justin Trudeau and his government. That was what you would call cleanup for some of the legislation in the criminal code. So we'd probably need another half hour to go through the whole history on that. But just objectively, that wasn't anything shady that Justin Trudeau did. That was just something that was literally cleanup, because even if somebody tried to action it and point to it, a court would say, no, it doesn't apply, because there's already been previous precedent and actions that have caused that part of the code to be irrelevant.
But I mean, if we printed something or if we made a video about something, we don't really print, but if we made a video about something about, you know, politician X, and it was like blatant lies about like how politician X like beats his wife or whatever, right? Just horrible, horrible things. Politician X could sue us if it's not true. And I think that's where kind of the law meets the free speech is you can give your interpretation of something, but if you're saying something is true when it's not, that's where you can land in a defamation case.
The biggest challenge, and there's no solution, by the way, for this. There's no good one. The biggest challenge when you're dealing with this type of thing is if you say, okay, it must be illegal to post something, you know, misinformation online as a news agency. So let's just say that is in law right now. Who decides what's true?
Well, and that's the other problem.
That's the biggest problem, and there is no solution.
And what about, like, we've made small errors before where, you know, we've said, oh, you know, this ruling was made by the Supreme Court of Canada when it was actually the BC Superior Court or whatever happens, right? So making an innocent mistake like that, is that now illegal under law? Like, what do you do with that?
It comes down to the principle of who watches the watchers, right? So if there's people that are designated, so you may say, well, you know, just set up an independent board. Okay, so who's on that board? How do you know their political affiliations? How do you know that that's not actually going to be brought into play when they're evaluating what is true and what is not, what's misinformation and what is not? So then you have to say, okay, so who watches them to make sure that they're not looking at that within an agenda? And then you have to now evaluate that independent board and say, okay, who's on that? What is their political affiliations? How do you know that they're not acting on? So this is the problem. And this is where it comes down to, we do the best we can, because the problem with every law is people.
Yeah, the human factor.
The law can be structured perfectly, but people, it's in our stupid nature.
It's in our DNA.
To find loopholes, to get around it, and to bend the rules wherever we can. And it doesn't matter what side of the equation you're on. They all do it. So that's the biggest challenge when you're looking at this type of thing. So phenomenal question, by the way. That's a $20 answer, I think. Peter D. Drutech for $5. I came in late. Are you going to the Edmonton barbecue? If so, I hope to meet you both there. So
Sadly, we're not.
Yeah, I think that's tomorrow, and we will not be there for that, unfortunately. Say hi to Kelly McCauley, though, and the Edmonton MPs. And Marsh B, member for 10 months. You guys rock. Enjoy the Stampede. Thank you very much. Grab Saves for $2. Net pauses. Liberal Party censoring already. Yeah. There you go. And Peter Whitten for $5. Ava asked the historic question to Trudeau, when did you turn on your own citizens? Epic. Will not forget. Ava rocks. Yeah, Ava's a superstar. Corey Huard, member, welcome to NP Supporter. Thank you. And Myron Enns dropping 10 memberships. Thank you very, very much for that. And Corey again for $2. Love you guys. Just renewed my membership. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Peter Whitten for $5. Race, DEI, etc. is only an issue when the left wants to win an election. Just saying, the media is the guardian of the public trust. Yeah. And it was actually, you reminded me of somebody that we spoke to today. And this is a gentleman who has been living in Canada for about 16 years, immigrated here from Nigeria. And his ask to us, and I think it was a very pertinent and relevant ask, is interview some more immigrants with conservative politics, because there's this perception out there that all the immigrants that are coming in are voting Liberal. And he's like, I don't like Liberal policies. I don't like them at all. It's the Conservatives one that makes sense to me. So, so that is actually in our long-term plan to bring in folks that that have come to Canada, that have immigrated to Canada, and are actual Conservatives. So,
And I think that the information that's put out, like the exit polls and stuff after the election is over, it shows that immigrants are not by and large voting
yeah,
Liberal.
the framing that came out of the last election is the Conservatives won the immigrant vote, which is good, very good news. So, Gordon Muir dropping 20 memberships. Thank you very, very much, Gordon. Good to see you. Curdy for $25. Bless you all. Looking at Darren's comment about the East provinces voting in their choices before the West polls close. Love NP Nation.
So the polls are supposed to close at the same time in every province. So in Ontario, I think they typically close around 8:30 Eastern, and then in Manitoba, it would be 7:30, and then 6:30 in Alberta, and so on. But like even when we were doing the election night live stream, they were calling it before the polls even closed, like in Ontario.
The mainstream media, yeah.
Yeah, which is just ridiculous. They
It's-
shouldn't be doing that.
It's disrespectful and it's stupid.
Yeah.
So, and Myron Ends for $20. Thank you very, very much. You should make the longest ballot one a night shirt that it could go to the ankles. Sadly, our supplier doesn't sell night shirts.
No.
So, maybe not sadly. It's Alina member for 26 months. Would it be possible for those hats that says MP? So yeah, we do have hats that say Northern Perspective on them. If that's
Yeah,
what
we
you
have
mean.
baseball caps, and we also have
Winter hats.
winter
too.
hats. Yeah, we have the kind without the pom poms, and also the kind with the pom poms. And I prefer the ones with the pom poms.
And Dimebag Darren Coins, member for 13 months. But what if Alberta leaves, like we actually might? I'm not sure what that's going to be in reference to, so I can't contextualize your question properly. So apologies for that. Mercedes for $5. Say what? Encrypt all your traffic to avoid public censorship. What they don't understand is that it affects everything. Internet merchant, yeah, everything. They either do understand it or they don't, and
Which is
either
scarier.
way is
Yeah.
problematic. Jessica Van Luke for $7. Huge congrats to independent MLA, ex-conservative MLA, and Jew hater on crossing the floor. The NDP, she finally did it.
I think that's in reference to a recent floor crosser from the BC Conservatives to the NDP.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh yeah, because she's saying MLA. Absolutely, that's what it means. So, love the sarcasm there, Jessica. Myron Ends for $10, and I thought Saskatoon's airport was small with 4 gates and just munchy machines, right? Chandra 80 for $2. Great meeting you both today. Email coming soon. Thank you very much. And Curdy dropping 10 memberships. Thank you. And another 5 later. Thank you. Kevin Spielman for $7. Heather and I hope the gifts fit. Our dogs won't bark at the TV today. Great to meet both of you.
Yes, thank
Thanks
you
for
so much.
what you do.
Vincent was already wearing his. Actually, are they on the table? I want to show everybody. Where did we put them?
I don't know.
Vincent was already wearing his. Hold on, give me a second. I'll see if I can find it.
Myron Ends for $10. Our media is full of bull . That's a great way to put it. Peter Witten for $5. Any chance you could get Jordan or Tammy Peterson to say a quick hi to MP Nation while you're out there? Godspeed to his healthy recovery. I hope so. We're actually working on doing something with Tammy at some point. So I'm sure she would love to do that. So we'll see what we can do. Myron Ends for $20. Speaking of bull . Carney and his merry band of idiots could actually be the Wokalar trying to suck the brains out of your nose.
Sorry, I couldn't find them. Vincent is wearing his, the blue one, and Ryan and I, we both had a good laugh at it because it says alcoholic
I love
instead of
love it.
like
Alcoholic,
but it's like elk, like the animal. So it was really cool.
I love the shirts. Peter Witten for $2. We are all patriotic. I have to hold down the fort, indeed. And Meowsil, I'm for 22 months. So nice meeting you today. Love Dylan. Thank you very much. Oh, it was great meeting you too, Dylan. I can picture you. I know exactly who you are. Peter Whitten for $5. A belated shout out to our American cousins for celebrating another Independence Day this weekend. And I saw there was a couple actually in chat. So absolutely, happy 4th of July, happy 250th
Yeah,
Independence
that's
Day,
huge.
and good fortune to our American brothers and sisters to the south. You are our North American family, and we should start acting like it.
And to the north. Alaska.
Oh, that's true. Northwest, yeah. And Glenn Stewart for $10 to Albertans. I traveled to you part of Canada to help you grow. I would travel back to Ontario, tell others how good it is in Alberta and how the people are friendly. People friendly and open-hearted. They sure are.
Absolutely. And, I think that's really important because, like, it's the people that make Canada, and the people across this country are just wonderful.
100%. Peter Whitten for $5. Here is a $5 response. We want to preserve differentiating voices. That is the essence of democracy. There
Absolutely.
And Carol Riom, I saw your comment. Yes, it's not all of Ottawa that's the problem. It's the Liberals in Parliament.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
it's the ones that are left-leaning in the House of Commons.
There's some
and the
amazing
Senate.
folks in Ottawa, because we had 3 NP Nation events out there, and there was hundreds of people that came out. So there's absolutely amazing people in Ottawa.
We just got to get them some
Carol's one of them.
conservative MPs.
Carol's one of them.
Absolutely.
Carol, remember for 26 months, did you actually get to see any of the races yet? No, that's hopefully tomorrow. Real Stephen Jensen for $5. Election was called at 8:08 p.m., 8 minutes after Alberta's polls closed. Western votes don't matter except for the Conservatives.
They weren't even finished counting our
In
polling
Ontario.
stations in Ontario, and they had called the election in favor of the Liberals. I don't understand how that's legal.
Yeah, it's BS. It's BS.
Because, like, we have friends who are scrutineering until quite late at night, so that means that they were not finished counting the ballots, and the mainstream media called it, like, almost immediately.
Yeah. Whiffers SS for $5. Hope jet lag hasn't been a problem. Must be nice to be able to start the live stream earlier and finish before 10 p.m. local time. Well, we're still kind of operating on Eastern time, so it's,
Yeah, it's been all right.
so
Because if I wake up at 8, then it feels like I'm waking up at 10.
no, but the point is we're not. It doesn't feel like we're starting earlier, so. But it's actually okay. It's actually okay. I think it's going to be worse when we go back.
Yes.
And Lawrence McNeil, member for 24 months. I wasn't able to make it to the Stampede. Any chance you could come to Red Deer while you're in Alberta? There's a few members of MP Nation that would love to meet you in person. No idea.
I'm not sure. I think if it was just the two of us, we could be a little bit more flexible with where we're going. But because, like, my parents are with us and Vincent is with us, we're kind of, we're kind of doing what they want to do too, I suppose is the way to put it.
We don't want to be dragging Tanya's parents all over the place. But
Well, like, for example, we would love to go up to Edmonton, but my parents really want to go to Banff, and it's their vacation, right? We're here to work. They're here for vacation, and we don't want to be like, well, you can't go there because we need the car to go to Edmonton or whatever.
so if put it this way, just keep an eye on our social media, and you'll see where we're going. So. And if we do happen to make it up to Red Deer, we will be announcing that. So, and Myron ends for $10. The bull dot comes from a movie called Private Eyes with Don Knotts. Oh, I think I remember that. You should try and find a copy. It's from the 80s. Oh yeah, Private Eyes. It's a comedy because Don Knotts is an older comedian. Tanya has no idea who he is, but he was great. And Jessica Van Luke for $7. Impractical Jokers have been my go-to watch lately. There you go.
Awesome.
Anyway, folks, it's been an interesting couple of days so far, and but we're really looking forward to the rest of the trip. And the view of the mountains always just blowing my mind because it looks like a painting. It looks fake. Because
it's just so beautiful.
Well, and we
don't
have no
see
mountains.
anything like that.
We have no mountains in Ontario.
We have the escarpment, the Niagara Escarpment, which everybody in Hamilton calls the mountain, but it's not a mountain.
It's a hill.
It's an escarpment.
It's a hill. Meanwhile, you just drive 30 minutes and across to Winton and Calgary, and you see like 5 escarpments. So what are there 5 mountains in Calgary? Hamiltonians? No, there's 5 escarpments. We have 1. It's big.
It's
but
long.
It's an escarpment.
It goes all the way to Fort Erie.
It is not a mountain. So, anyway. And this is coming from a Hamiltonian. So, and Eugene Balbaco for $14. You guys are doing a great job. Happy Canada Day. How serious do you think Kuzma failure will be? It's going to be very interesting. It's not going to be like an immediate, oh my goodness, this is a problem. As we said, it's going to impact businesses that needed something added to Kuzma.
Yeah.
So the businesses that are already in there, it's not going to affect them too much because it's already tariff free. But it's the businesses that used to be in Kuzma, but that the United States has designated these goods to be national security interest, which you're allowed to do in Kuzma. It's actually quite vague. So they've designated steel and aluminum and other goods to be, tariffed because of national security reasons. That's a clause in Kuzma that we went over. So there's these businesses that are around that they need something done.
Yeah, and not just, oh, we'll give you a loan.
And the longer this goes, the louder this is going to get. So it started with the mold, tool, and die industries.
It's going to expand to other industries. And if we lose these manufacturing industries,
this is
we're in big trouble.
It's going to get very loud, very fast, and I don't care if you are a card-carrying, red bleeding liberal. You're going to be mad. You're going to be mad at Mark Carney for not doing something. And he can try and say, well, it was Trump. It was Trump. It was Trump. You're the guy who said that you know how he negotiates. You're the guy who has said, I've done business with him. You're the guy who said you're going to handle Donald Trump. And you didn't. Surprise, surprise. Not a surprise to all the folks that knew this was coming, but going to be a surprise to some of the folks that were told that you're the guy, and they ate it up, unfortunately, and they were lied to.
Hopefully they don't vote Liberal again.
Yeah, and hopefully they say, you know what, okay, I get it. I made a mistake, and I'm going to fix that mistake the next time I vote. So, but you're going to see, if nothing's done, and I don't have any confidence anything's going to be done on this, you're going to see this slowly expand. And this is where we say a year from now, we're going to be noticing, we predict, a slow, steady trend that is going to be building against Mark Carney and this Liberal government. Carol Realm for $5. You should go through Algonquin Park to Barron Canyon, closest we get around here. It's still nothing to Rundle, Cascade, and the Three Sisters. Been to Algonquin Park, and it's beautiful there, absolutely. Jessica Van Luke for $7. So sad that Terry Newman of the National Post daughter Ellie's cancer has come back. Melanoma sucks. She's only 13, I believe. Yeah, that's terrible.
Oh man, and melanoma can be very aggressive.
Yeah,
that's so sad.
Peter Whitten for $5. Point of order, hard stop at 11, right? I gotta let the dogs out. Yeah, and
11 Eastern, yeah, because I told my parents not to come back until 11.
Yeah.
Or well, I guess it's what 9 here.
Something like that.
9 here.
And Robert says for $5, if I'm not mistaken, the mountains in Ontario are nice mountains. They're just about 1 billion or 2 years older than the Rockies, though I like ours. There you go. So, okay, folks, it's been a very, very wild day.
Thank you all for coming to our event. It was wonderful to meet everybody, and just keep the hope alive, because we can fix this. We can do this.
And even if you are completely for separation, I just wish everybody prosperity, and I hope that people can find some peace, can live a good life, and realize their own version of the Canadian dream. So,
and get those Liberals out of office.
Yeah. So, but wherever you lean, thanks for watching tonight. Thanks to the Americans that are watching. Thanks to the Canadians who are watching, and everybody in between. We know we have some viewers overseas too. So if you're watching, thank you. But I think that's going to be it for us, folks. So live from Wild Rose Country, thank you very much, and we'll see you in the comments.
Our fathers fought so our voices could be free, that thought and conscience would not bow to decree those rights and law. Only if we choose to take a stand without compromising truth. This land is more than headlines, more than noise and rage. We cut through all the chaos line by line, page by page. NP Nation, raise your voice tonight. Every province, every distant sky, we stand for something. We don't step aside. Truth in our hands, hope in our eyes. NP Nation, this is where we rise. No corner of this country stands alone. What we ignore still shapes the road back home. Power grows when people step aside. We move forward and be nationwide. From the coastlines to the prairies, mountain shadow, harbor rain, we carry all these stories, turn the fear into a flame. NP Nation, raise your voice tonight. Every province, every distant sky, we stand for something. We don't step aside. Truth in our hands, hope in our eyes. NP Nation, this is where we rise. We've been bruised, but we're breathing. Yeah, the work cuts deep. Still we answer every morning for the true north, strong and free. Canada, you're worth the struggle. Every question, every call. We're exhausted, but we're upright. We refuse to watch you fall. NP Nation, raise your voice tonight. Every province, every distant sky, we stand for something. We don't step aside. Truth in our hands, hope in our eyes. NP Nation, this is where we rise. Freedom thrives when truth is on our side. When we resist despair and the power that divides, so we step